Hello, everyone. Welcome to Cloud Wars Live. This is the podcast where we're digging into the digital revolution and looking at the incredible ways that it's changing the business world, our personal lives, and everywhere in between. We're delighted today to have the Vice President of Infrastructure from Yext with us, and that is Josh Blender. And Josh is with us to talk about some of the very cool new things Yext is doing. Josh, welcome. It's great to have you.
Thank you. Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
So, Josh, if we could get started, if you'd tell us a little bit about the unique position that Yext has in the marketplace today, I think especially around, the complex things that Yext delivers for customers, but also your ability to give them flexibility and choice. How do you pull all that off?
Sure. So if I can, take a moment to just describe kind of what Yext is. Ultimately, we're a platform for ingesting data, structuring it, and then delivering it as in the form of answers everywhere that it's needed. We give our customers control over the public data that they have. Now, that's a little abstract. Can I give you an example?
Yeah, please.
So sort of a classic use case here is, let's say you're a national or a global chain of stores, whether that be fast food restaurants, sporting goods stores, a bank, whatever it may be. You have all these locations, and there's lots of important information about these locations that you want everybody to have. The simple stuff: name, address, phone number, hours of operation, but it can get very detailed. Maybe there's specials. Maybe you want to make available what products are available in which locations, various things like that. So we have, first of all, what we call third-party experiences, where we synchronize that data out to all the places where people are looking for them. Other web properties like Google, Apple Maps, Amazon Alexa, Yelp, TripAdvisor, Facebook, GPS systems. I think we're over 200 places at this point. So those are third party. As for first party, on your own web property or apps, you may have like a store locator, and then that would be something we host. And then you have pages dedicated to each of those locations, which we also host. And you may also have our search engine, which is a very powerful natural language processing search engine, which directly answers questions like, where can I find a financial advisor that speaks Mandarin? Mm-hmm. And we will deliver answers. And the experience is customizable to what our customers need. So that's kind of it in a nutshell. That's a classic example. There are many more other examples. It's not limited to locations. It could be just about anything.
Yeah, and Josh, that is that's kind of cuts both ways, I guess, right? That flexibility and choice you said you offer, because today we hear that so many businesses are understanding that it's in almost every case a multi-cloud world where different businesses, to get the right outcomes for them, they'll work with different cloud providers for different specific purposes. But it's also true, it's emerging that some businesses say, hey, look, this particular cloud, we don't want to work with them. And Yext is able then to give, again, that flexibility. It says, we want to be sure that, your clients can work with the clouds they want to work with, but some other ones, they don't have to work with them, right? How do you make that happen, Josh?
Absolutely. So, yeah, there's kind of two different ways our customers benefit from our multi-cloud approach. One is that, indirectly in the background, we can do our own things. For example, putting workloads where they perform best or where they're most economical. A new cloud provider comes out with a new feature that we want to utilize, we can move workloads there. And then there's the obvious direct situation where a customer wants to, utilize a specific cloud. They want their systems exist in a particular place, and they want to integrate with us where they exist. And we can provide high quality, low latency integrations because we can just meet them there.
And Josh, taking that a step farther, so you've sort of given us a good idea about the ability for Yext to work with multiple clouds, given the customer's choice on that. But then there's also the ability that Yext can, under the parameters set by your customers, help them, manage, control, keep close tabs on what information about that company gets out to the public. How do you do that, and why is that essential in today's environment?
So, there are a lot of places where our customers, downstream customers, consumers, as we would say, would find information about them. Some are more popular than others, but there's a huge variety. And keeping that data in sync, especially across the third parties and your own web properties, is a very difficult task. And we essentially make it automatic. And we can go even further than that. We can actually provide the tools to structure this data. In the case of locations, it is fairly straightforward, but you can tailor, for example, a search experience. You can create relationships between entities that you have, such as a relationship between a financial advisor and a language spoken, or a food product and a location where it's served. And our AI search will be able to interpret natural language expressions and deliver those correct answers, giving our customers control over what's out there about them.
Yeah, and Josh, it's interesting, how you describe that, because you make it sound like it's fairly simple, but in fact, there's probably an incredible amount of technology and thinking and capability that goes into that. Now, one of the technology partners that Yext works with is Redis. How does Redis help you deliver that sort of performance?
Right. So a lot of people use Redis in a number of ways, and we actually use them in a number of ways as well. But they have a search platform built on top of their core Redis, and because they're pushing out some cutting edge search features that are very important to us, we use the hosted version of Redis search. And because they are able to operate in multiple clouds just as we are, we can use them as a backend system for us anywhere we have a point of presence.
Right. And, Josh, the other thing you just mentioned, anywhere you have a point of presence. So as Yext, delivers to clients around the world, there's this growing sense in different countries, they want to have more control over data residency, data sovereignty, data privacy, and so forth like that. That's got to add a lot of complexity to what happens there. So could you talk a little bit about some of these regulatory requirements, and how then does Yext ensure that you're able to deliver on a country by country or region by region basis, this sort of, to comply with the regulatory issues of those different jurisdictions?
Yeah, so that's something we're working on now, is focusing on the EU. We've got a lot of wonderful customers in the EU, and they deeply care about data sovereignty, and they're understandably concerned about any new developments that come down between the US and the EU. And we've made a commitment to honor their expectations around data sovereignty and data privacy. And we're in the process of standing up, an EU sovereign instance of our system. And our existing, multi-cloud platform that, has ways of operating in many different places has facilitated that to some extent. It's a little bit more challenging because there are different compliance requirements in the EU for data privacy. But, we will be able to honor all of those soon.
Yeah. Josh, it's an incredible business now, right? I mean, things are changing so fast. We see data, more and more becoming, some people call it the most valuable asset on earth. You're right in the middle of this. So you've given us a great idea of what Yext does, how this happens. Do you want to, I'd like to pass over before we wrap up, give it the last word over to you. Anything you want to be sure to add about what Yext is doing and why that's creating value for your customers?
Sure. I mean, not to sound like a broken record, but giving our customers control over their data is really the most important thing. But it's also about how well you do it, how well you present that data to the world, and a combination of getting it out to all the third-party places, and of course, as a SaaS platform, we're continually evolving. If a new place appears where consumers are looking for data, we will build an integration with them. If a new use case comes up, we will be able to satisfy it, and we're always adding new features. But the combination of getting that data out to the third parties and giving our customers the ability to host their first party experiences in a way that they have a lot of control over is really our primary value.
Well, Josh, this is fascinating. I'm wondering if maybe you're talking about these very, very sophisticated, algorithms and technology that Yext deploys. Have you had an example in your own personal life where you've seen firsthand the power of what Yext can deliver?
Sure. I think we've all experienced something like this. I can tell you about an experience where Yext was not being utilized, where I was going grocery shopping, and I was, going to try out a new store, and my Maps app said, okay, here it is, it's open. When I showed up there was a guy in front saying, sorry, we're closed. I approached him and I said, oh, my app says that you're open. Can I speak to your manager? He probably thought I was going to become an irate customer. But she was right there, and she came over, and I said, there's an easy solution to all of this. And she started telling me, oh, we updated here and here, and we're kind of working through them. I said, no, there's a better way. I won't call out that store, but
No, I understood. But like you said, and you've got, there's probably 200 different information outlets through which that data is. So I imagine if that store person takes it on himself or herself to say, okay, I got to contact each one of these 200, there's an easier way to do it, right?
Much easier.
Yeah, Josh, it sounds like you're having a lot of fun there, and that Yext is delivering some, powerful and much needed new capabilities to the market. So thank you very much for being with us here to explain what Yext is doing.
Yeah, great. Thank you.
And folks, thanks to all of you for being with us here at Cloud Wars Live. We've had a chance to talk with Josh Blender, VP of Infrastructure from Yext, which one of their vendor partners, Redis, has sponsored this program. So thank you to Redis for that. And Josh, thanks to you for your participation here.
Great. Thank you.
Good deal. Thanks, everybody. Good to see you. Hope all's going well, and we'll see you next time.